What's going on, everybody? All right, so like I said, gonna be just a few more. Man, I can't wait to get back and start working on that S10. I've actually sat there and gone through, did a few renditions or revisions, I should say, to my tunes. Got some stuff I really been wanting to try out that I can't try out because the truck's way down there. But let's go ahead and take a look at some tuner cars. I've really been really liking looking at these things way more than looking at those racer cars. And y'all like these cars way more than the racer cars too. So yeah, let's dive into it. All right, let's start this one off just right. We got a 2006 Mustang GT asking 85,000. Now, you ask 85,000, there's going to be a lot of stuff done to it. Well, one thing I'm noticing that's really weird over here is that it says fuel diesel. So that's going to be interesting. But let's take a look at these photos. So, yeah, I mean, it looks nice. I like the wide kind of body kit to it and everything like that. So, let's go on down and see what we got here. All right. So he has a bit of a list here. So, yeah, I'm gonna let you look at it, and I'll sit here for a second and bullshit with you like everything else, and then I'll scroll down a little bit more, and you can see what else is down there. I'm wondering how much horsepower. So I'm gonna say close to 1,000. I don't know if he says it or not. So let's see. Okay, so actually it says Lund Racing Tune, 16 psi, 900 rear wheel horsepower. Yeah, I mean, I think I saw up there it said it was twin turboed. So yeah, something like this. It's got a TH400 transmission. It's so weird how they throw in these Chevy transmissions. Is it what kind of motor? I mean, imagine it's just a standard Mustang motor, you know, like a with the 5.0 or something like that. It says GT, so the 5.0 motor. But man, yeah, see twin 64 millimeter turbos. Yeah, this thing is. I wish it had more photos, but this thing is nice. I don't know why it says diesel because there's nothing diesel about it, but it's really nice. So, but you gotta move on. Gotta see what else is out there. All right, so we got us a 1992 Chevy S10, and I do believe it said it had an LS6 turboed in there. So let's see what we got for the photos. I'm gonna leave this. I got it set up so you can take a look at what's down here. First off, let me just tell you, it says that it has 850 to the crank, 750 to the wheels. So that's, yeah, probably right around roughly that, you know, roughly those numbers, and 750 foot-pound to torque. So let's take a look at these photos, see what we got. So first off, I mean, I like these wheels. I really like these wheels. I'm not a big fan of the body kit on it, but that's okay. You can see the exhaust coming out right here, and I'm not a big fan of these taillights right here. I've just never been a big fan of them. There was also another thing on the front that I wasn't a big fan of. Yeah, this little sun visor thing up here on the top. Not a huge fan of that either. You can see another piece of the exhaust coming out the other side, so that's nice. Let's see the exhaust right there. I don't see anything. I can see the pipes coming in. They're wrapped right up in there. So, is that the turbo right there? Are the turbos up underneath here? They might be. I'm not really sure. It's very possible. It doesn't really. Yeah, doesn't really show us. Yeah. Okay. So the turbos aren't in the engine bay. So they must be down there. They got to be. So yeah. I mean, as you can see down here, it's got a, let's see, Borg Warner S475. So yeah, I mean, the thing looks fantastic. It sounds like a NASCAR with the exhaust coming out the way it does. I'm not surprised. It's probably straight pipe, you know. So it's a fantastic truck. They're asking 22,000 for it. Yeah, there it is, right there, 22,000. So not that bad of a price, but I'm sure they put in a lot of work, and they're looking to get what, you know, they put into it. So moving on. Okay, so what we got here today is okay. So first off, you look at it and go, okay, this is just an old Eclipse, nothing spectacular about it. But what you have here is an all-wheel drive turbo Eclipse. They're very rare, actually. You don't see the all like you'll see the just the turbo versions of the Eclipse, but the all-wheel drive versions, that's something else. So let's take a look at this thing. I have not. I guess this is all the photos you get um, through OfferUp. This is my first time checking out OfferUp, so I'm still checking things out. But let's check out what he's got going on here. Now I've always done. I'm not gonna read it, but I'm gonna sit here for a second and bullshit with you while you take a look at it. And I mean, you can see that he has a few things, new turbos, and some various things out there. Bigger injectors, bigger fuel pump, things that are needed whenever you're trying to push out some more horsepower. One thing you don't see though is the horsepower number, which is something I would have liked to have seen. I kind of like these cars. I've always been a big fan of them, just because they're kind of sleepers in a way, because whenever you see it, you just think, a normal Civic, like I was saying. Now, I will say, I'm not a big fan of these wheels. These are pretty ugly wheels. I don't like how the spokes go, and then it's got this outer lip thing going on. I'm not a big fan of that, okay? So, but I am a fan of the car in general. It's really clean too, I gotta say. I wonder if it's like still the original paint and everything like that. I mean, for only $8,000, it's not really all that bad. So, we're gonna move on. All right. So we got us another one, and this one is a 1987 Camaro IROC Z. Now the IROC Zs are actually a bit more rare than just the common Camaro that has the same body style. The IROC Z was one that was not made they didn't make nearly as many as the standard Camaro. So whenever you find one, you expect to spend a little bit. And this one looks like it's in fantastic condition, I gotta say. So let's see what the photos provide us. Oh yeah, I mean, clean, very clean. Nothing wrong with it. It doesn't look like anything's wrong with it. Oh yeah. I mean, it looks good. It looks so good. I mean, it's still so clean under there. I mean, I like the T-tops. I've always been a big fan of the T-tops. I wish the S10 had T-tops, but I really don't want to cut them in because more than likely they will leak. So, man, that thing's so clean. I'd love to have this thing. I'd drive the hell out of this thing. Man, you got a lot of photos though. I mean, that's good though. When you're trying to sell, when you're trying to sell something, you want to show everything, and this guy is showing everything. Oh yeah, that's a nice. It's got some nice bracing right here. Nice little motor. Probably not a little motor though. Once we get into the description, we'll get an idea of what's going on there. I wish that it wasn't carbureted, but hell, carbureted vehicles, there's nothing wrong with. Okay, so we're back at the beginning. We can take a look at what's in this description. All right, so it wants $15,000 for it. Not that bad. Let's see. It's got a 427 small block Chevy 400 stroker, 800 quadrijet. So yeah, you can see he's got a lot of nice stuff here. Trick flow heads. It's got a 700R. Apparently, I don't know what a Don Stanley is, but apparently it's good. Anybody knows? It's got 2800 stall. Mine's only like an 1800, which I will be upgrading mine at some point. So you got a good bit of stuff here. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's got quite a good bit of stuff here. So, but $15,000. I mean, I guess it's worth it because it is an IROC Z. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna move on. It was a pretty nice looking car, but we've got others to look at. Okay, so last one. Or hold on. All right, so let's talk about this here Audi. So it says it's a Stage 3 Audi S7. 800 horsepower. 800 horsepower. That's a substantial amount of horsepower. I wish I had 800 horsepower in the BMW. But let's take a look at these photos real quick before we go down to that description. So I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the wheels, but when you have 800 horsepower, you can have wheels like that, and if anybody says anything to them, then you just well, I got 800 horsepower. So it's a good looking car though. I like that color gray. I've always been a big fan of that color. The interior is white. That white leather seems like something that would get dirty, but this, I mean, and like the sub. I mean, when you have 800 horsepower, you don't really. I wouldn't want a sub like that. I mean, it's probably not that heavy, but still, I like these wheels a little bit better. I guess this is how it was originally. Yeah. Okay. So none of that matters. So this is where it's at right now. But let's take a look at this description here. All right. What we care about is the mod list, not why you're selling it. So it looks like a turbo upgrade kit with a upgraded intercooler, new tune. Yeah. So yeah, downpipes, custom exhaust, stuff like that. So yeah, got a few things done to it. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on. All right, so we got us a '98 Corvette, or C5 Corvette. So the thing about these things is you don't have to do a lot if you can tune them properly, put the proper cam in them, and just do some proper fueling. You can get a buttload of horsepower out of these Corvettes, because there's not a whole lot of space underneath the hood for turbos. A lot of people supercharge them, or if they do turbo them, they tend to put the turbos in the back here, where they actually have space. Or you do like Cletus and you just take the whole damn hood off and just have that damn turbo sitting right up here, So let's see what this guy's got going on here. Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, this looks good. I am a huge fan of the murdered outlook. If you haven't, if you're new to the channel, my BMW is murdered out. So my taillights aren't that way yet, but I just gotta buy me some new lights. But anyways, it's not about me. This is the reason why I say a lot of people don't have, there's no space for turbos under here, because there is literally no space for turbos under here. So like I said, most people supercharge it, or they put the turbos in the back, because that's really the only place you can put it. This guy, let's see what he's got going on here, down here in the description. Okay, so right here it says dyno tuned at 420 horsepower, Mickey Thompson's all around, bore the exhaust, has a cam and other updates. So he doesn't really give us a whole lot of info on it. 420 horsepower. If that's at the wheel, that's actually not that much, that's nothing to slouch at, because most people know crank numbers, so that's probably in like the 500s as far as crank numbers. So yeah, it's not that bad of a car. And at $19,000, let's see, yeah, or I'm sorry, $16,750. Not a bad price. So yeah, gonna move on now though.